Shen Yue immediately began blaming me for not protecting our Chloe properly. She didn't think twice about it and instantly accepted my explanation. Gu Beichen, however, glared intensely at the space between Chloe and me, saying with clear irritation, "You two are moving pretty fast. Already holding hands. Only then did we realize that even now, our hands were still intertwined." Chloe reflexively let go and pulled her hand back to her side. Shen Yue stepped in at this moment and questioned Gu Beichen, "Isn't it a good thing that they're making fast progress?" Gu Beichen's face had initially been flushed with anger, but Shen Yue's words reminded him that Chloe was simply executing his honey trap script. He rationalized that she wasn't doing it on purpose, so it was forgivable. Even so, he secretly sent Chloe a text. "I don't like you having physical contact with Lin Yuan. I can overlook it this time, but don't let it happen again." Upon receiving the text, Chloe thought for a moment and sent back a simple, indifferent, "Okay." Seeing her reply, Gu Beichen cast a haughty glance in my direction, then called out to Shen Yue and the others, quickly disappearing into the crowd. They had intentionally abandoned us again. When Chloe looked up, she found no trace of Gu Beichen and his crew anywhere. "Lin Yuan, I don't want to hang out here anymore." Chloe seemed to have lost all interest and suddenly suggested leaving. When I asked her why, she answered in a quiet voice, "To be honest, I've never really liked coming to amusement parks. I got the feeling she had a painful history." Sure enough, before I could even press further, she opened up on her own. Because, on the very last day before my mom passed away from her severe illness, she brought me here in her wheelchair. So every time someone mentions amusement parks, it just makes me remember how much pain my mother was in before she died. Hearing this, I asked her seriously, "Then why did you still ask me to come to the amusement park? Aren't you just setting yourself up to be miserable?" "They were the ones who insisted I ask you out here," Chloe replied with a trace of hesitation. "Come on, let's go somewhere else." Without saying another word, I took her hand and quickly led her away from the park. Through our time spent together, I realized that even though Gu Beichen was Chloe's childhood sweetheart, he didn't actually care about her at all. He didn't know she was afraid of the dark, nor did he realize that she absolutely hated coming to amusement parks. I really couldn't fathom why a great girl like Chloe was willing to mix with someone like him. After leaving the park, I brought her straight back to my place. That's right, I brought her to my own house. My parents travel for work year-round, so I live completely on my own. I opened the front door and welcomed the young heiress inside. Chloe was used to living in giant mansions, but entering my home, she didn't show a hint of disdain. "What a coincidence," she murmured as she looked around the space. "To be honest, I usually live all by myself too. My mom passed away early, and my dad has more than one household outside, so he rarely ever comes home. Only then did I learn that Chloe actually lived a rather tragic life. A mother who died too soon, and a father with multiple mistresses outside, leaving her entirely alone to navigate a massive, empty mansion all by herself. I finally figured it out. No wonder she had been willing to associate with someone like Gu Beichen before. Chloe was simply starved for a sense of family. In reality, she probably just viewed Gu Beichen as a younger brother, hoping to draw a tiny, insignificant bit of warmth from his presence to comfort her lonely soul. Since Chloe had visited my house, she also invited me over to her place, and it was every bit the imposing, grand villa. The interior decoration was lavish to the extreme, and there were plenty of maids and security guards on duty. The moment I stepped inside, the dazzling decor nearly blinded me. I stood there staring with wide eyes, taking quite a while to snap out of it. I honestly felt like a total country bumpkin who had never seen the world. But Chloe didn't make fun of me at all. She even took the initiative to give me a tour of her bedroom. Yet just as we left her room and walked downstairs, Gu Beichen and Shen Yue walked into the villa one after the other. Upon seeing me, Gu Beichen's brows knit tightly together, his face completely flushed with annoyance. "Lin Yuan, what are you doing here?" I had already stepped deep into Chloe's personal domain. For him to only realize now that his territory was being encroached upon, wasn't it a bit too late? If Gu Beichen could perceive right now that Chloe was slipping further away, instantly start chasing after his wife, and if Chloe were actually willing to turn back to him, then I would definitely bow out silently and give them my blessings. After all, Gu Beichen still technically stood a chance at this point. "Chloe brought me here," I shot back with a thoroughly casual remark. Hearing this, Gu Beichen's eyes shifted, and the anger on his face instantly vanished, his rigid expression smoothed over as well. "Ah, I almost forgot. You and Chloe are dating now. It's perfectly normal for her to bring you home. Watching Gu Baichen's sudden 180-degree shift, I gave him a silent thumbs up in my mind. This guy is incredibly generous. But then a second thought crossed my mind. If he knew that Chloe and I were kissing and hugging every single day, I wonder if he could still maintain this composure. Right then, Chloe appeared at the top of the second-floor stairs. Hearing Gu Baichen's words, her face remained completely expressionless. She simply asked the two downstairs coolly, "What brought you guys over?" "We didn't have anything to do, so we came to find you guys." Shen Yue made herself right at home on the sofa, then turned around to question Chloe and me. "What were you two doing upstairs just now? You weren't making a baby, were you?" The moment those words came out, Gu Baichen's face froze up again, but he quickly curled his lip and dismissed it. How could that be? Chloe is a very traditional girl. Yue, stop talking nonsense. I stole a quiet glance at Chloe, laughing silently to myself. Traditional, right? Just moments ago, we were tangled up on her bed in a heated embrace. We were only a hair's breadth away from crossing the final line. If we hadn't been genuinely worried about actually making a baby, we wouldn't have stopped. What era are you living in? Shen Yue spoke up again, wiggling her eyebrows at Chloe as she egged her on. Chloe, if you ask me, you shouldn't be too conservative. When it's time to do something, just let loose and go for it. Youth is so precious. When it's time to enjoy yourself, you should enjoy it to the fullest. She was explicitly urging Chloe and me to take things to the next level. It suddenly hit me that Shen Yue didn't seem to be targeting me maliciously at all. Instead, she genuinely seemed to be playing matchmaker for us. It was plain as day. The moment she finished speaking, Gu Baichen's eye twitched violently, and he glared daggers at her. His look screamed, "Whose side are you actually on?" Yet Shen Yue completely ignored his murderous gaze, or rather, she didn't take his reaction seriously at all. However, Shen Yue's intentional or accidental betrayals weren't even the most frustrating thing for Gu Baichen. They stayed at Chloe's villa until it was quite late, and only when they were getting ready to leave did they realize that I had no intention of going. Wait, what? Lin Yuan is staying over tonight? Upon learning that I was spending the night at Chloe's villa, Gu Baichen's face darkened completely. Shen Yue, on the other hand, got excited, teasing Chloe and me with a chuckle. Tsk, tsk, I can't take this. You two are just brutally torturing us single dogs. Gu Baichen panicked, trying to stop me with an angry look. You two can't stay together. Why not? I shrugged and questioned him back. It's not like we're sleeping in the same room. Besides, Chloe and I are a couple. Even if we did sleep together. So what? Not sleeping in the same room. Gu Baichen completely ignored my latter words, clinging onto the not sleeping in the same room part. Muttering, he looked over at Chloe again. I knew it. Chloe isn't that kind of easy girl. Hearing this made me instantly annoyed, so I repeated what I just said. What are you talking about? Chloe and I are boyfriend and girlfriend. It's none of your business if we sleep together. Gu Baichen wanted to argue back, but Shen Yue suddenly cut in, dragging him toward the exit. She kept brainwashing him as they walked out. They're boyfriend and girlfriend, so sleeping together has absolutely nothing to do with you. Let's go, let's go. Gu Baichen was dragged out of the villa's main doors by Shen Yue. The second they stepped outside, he demanded angrily, Yue, are you actually on my side or what? Why does it feel like you're helping Lin Yuan at every turn? Am I? Shen Yue replied half-heartedly, then turned around and waved her hand. Whatever, I'm tired. I'm heading home. With that, she walked toward another villa nearby. Gu Baichen lived right next door to Chloe. He looked back at Chloe's villa with deep resentment before heading into his own house, fuming. Before stepping through his door, he comforted himself. The one Chloe loves is me. It's impossible for her to fall for Lin Yuan. Bringing Lin Yuan back to the villa must just be to finish the task I assigned her as quickly as possible. Yes, it must be that. This guy was truly a master of self-delusion. In the blink of an eye, the next day arrived, and I actually walked out from Chloe's bedroom. In truth, we really had intended to sleep in separate rooms initially, but last night Chloe was helping me with my schoolwork. Because we stayed up too late, we were both completely exhausted, so we just ended up falling asleep in each other's arms for the night. After holding her like that all night, the intimacy between us grew by leaps and bounds. Time flew by, and in the blink of an eye, half a month passed. With only 2 months left until the college entrance exam, Chloe and I were practically inseparable every single day. Gu Baichen felt that the timing was ripe. On this day, he approached Chloe, wanting her to put an end to the honey trap. Chloe, that's enough. Go ahead and break up with Lin Yuan. He said it with absolute confidence. But Chloe didn't listen to him, only saying she'd deal with it in a couple of days. Although Gu Baichen was annoyed, he still waited a few days. But as the days passed, there was still no news of Chloe breaking up with me. So Gu Baichen pulled Chloe aside for a private talk once again. Chloe, what's wrong with you? Didn't we agree you'd break up with him in a couple of days? Why haven't you brought it up yet? The exam is coming, Chloe calmly replied, with just those words. Hearing this, Gu Baichen immediately began interpreting it in his own way. Oh, I get it. Chloe, you want to dump him just a few days before the exam? That way, Lin Yuan will be devastated and completely mess up his exam, failing to get into even a mediocre university. In the face of his words, Chloe didn't offer any response, her deep eyes shifting as she lost herself in thought. Chloe, you really thought this through. Gu Baichen continued to fantasize to himself. From a short distance away, I read their lips and understood their entire conversation. To be honest, Chloe isn't as boldly outspoken as Shen Yue. She keeps her cards close to her chest. Even though we had grown close enough to share a bed, I still couldn't fully figure out whether she was being genuine or fake with me, but I chose to believe that she wasn't rotten to the core like Gu Baichen. As the exam drew closer and closer, Chloe still hadn't mentioned breaking up with me. Gu Baichen grew completely anxious. For the umpteenth time, he asked Chloe out to a secluded spot to talk. Chloe, the exam is right around the corner! Hurry up and dump Lin Yuan! Chloe narrowed her eyes, didn't say a single word this time, and just turned on her heel to leave. Chloe, what's wrong with you? Why are you ignoring me? Gu Baichen panicked more and more. Lately, he had noticed that Chloe was not only getting closer to me, but she was also getting physically affectionate with me, completely abandoning all boundaries. Meanwhile, she was becoming increasingly cold toward him, sometimes not even replying to his texts. Could it be? He finally thought of that terrifying possibility and blurted it out at Chloe's retreating back. This time, Chloe stopped in her tracks. Without turning around, she simply uttered 3 words. I don't know. What did I don't know mean? Was it because she couldn't even figure out her own stance, making her unable to give a firm answer? Gu Baichen's heart skipped a beat, sensing that things had gone terribly wrong. He realized that Chloe had likely fallen deep into this fake romance game and couldn't pull herself out. Chloe, wake up! Your relationship is fake! He roared this at Chloe's back, but she ignored him completely, continuing on her way to the classroom. Left standing there, Gu Baichen's face was twisted in rage. He clenched his fists so tightly that the blue veins on his arms bulged violently, nearly bursting through his skin. Lin Yuan, I certainly underestimated you. Just you wait. I will never let the two of you be together. On the night before the college entrance exam, I received a harassing text message from Gu Baichen. Lin Yuan, I am Chloe's real boyfriend. Her dating you was just a prank I orchestrated to mess with you. I had her purposely get close to you just so she could dump you later. If you don't believe me, you can ask Chloe yourself. She doesn't like you at all. Getting close to you was purely to toy with you. In my eyes, he was clearly acting out of pure desperation, smashing a pot just because it was cracked, and finally throwing down his cards. A smirk crept onto my face, and I casually tossed my phone face down, having absolutely no intention of replying to him. Before long, the guy sent another message. Every line was dripping with his usual smugness, convinced his words had struck a raw nerve and that I was currently crying my eyes out in secret. I couldn't help but laugh out loud. With an IQ like that, it was no wonder he had personally pushed Chloe right into my arms. Locking my phone once again, I continued to ignore him. But a moment later, a video call from Chloe came through. The moment I picked up, her face on the screen was a picture of anxiety, her tone laced with panic. Yuan, what did Gu Baichen just say to you? I could guess without even asking. Seeing that I was ignoring him, Gu Baichen must have immediately run off to throw a tantrum at Chloe. He said, that you and I are just a fake couple, I replied with a shrug, my tone perfectly calm. And what do you think? Chloe stared into the lens, her expression exceptionally earnest. I curled my lip, answering with a smile. Who would push their own fiancé to another guy? Unless their brain is completely missing a gear. My words made no attempt to hide my mockery of Gu Baichen. Exactly. He really is missing a gear. Chloe immediately nodded in agreement, her tone overflowing with validation. I was thoroughly satisfied with her attitude. It made all the time I spent keeping her company lately well worth it. The fact that Chloe was willing to insult Gu Baichen like this